Things have just been spiraling out of control for the New York Yankees this season, and it feels like every week brings a new layer of frustration for fans. Heading into the season, expectations were sky high. The Yankees had made moves to bolster their bullpen, addressing one of the glaring weaknesses from the first half of the previous season. There was a sense of optimism, a feeling that with the right arms in the back end of the game, they could handle any situation. But now, just months later, it seems clear that the bullpen was never the only problem. The cracks in this team run far deeper than a few relievers struggling to close out innings. The starting rotation, which should have been a source of stability, is showing signs of inconsistency, leaving fans and analysts scratching their heads and wondering what's really going on in the Bronx. Take Max Fried, for example. At the start of the year, he looked untouchable. His fastball was slicing through lineups, his slider was devastating, and there were moments where it seemed like he could carry the Yankees on his back. But lately, he's been battling injuries, blisters, and a sudden loss of command that has completely altered his effectiveness. Every pitch feels like a gamble, and the statistics reflect a pitcher far removed from the ace he once appeared to be. It's difficult to watch a player of his caliber struggle like this, and it's a harsh reminder of just how thin the margin for error can be at this level. Carlos Rodon, while more consistent than Fried, has also shown signs of wear. He's had flashes of brilliance, but his ERA has crept higher than anyone hoped, and it feels like the team has yet to find that balance that made them formidable in past seasons. Meanwhile, other members of the rotation, like Will Warren and the promising Luis Heels, are still finding their footing, which makes the inconsistencies from the top of the rotation even more glaring. And then there's the bullpen, which was supposed to be the Yankees' salvation. Heading into the season, the team boasted a roster full of talent and strikeout potential, but the results on the field have been nothing short of disastrous. Pitchers who were expected to shut down innings with authority are now struggling to make it through a single frame without giving up runs or extending innings unnecessarily. Camilo Doval, one of the high-profile acquisitions from the trade deadline, has been a perfect example of this disconnect between expectation and reality. With the Giants, Doval had been an electric presence on the mound, capable of racking up strikeouts and dominating opposing lineups. His fastball, sitting around 100 miles per hour, paired with a devastating slider, made him an all-star caliber closer. But in New York, nothing has clicked. His ERA has ballooned, strikeout rates have dropped, and in just 7 innings pitched for the Yankees, he has struggled in ways that would be concerning for any team. It's not just about numbers, though. Watching Val on the mound, you can see the tension and the pressure weighing on him. Every pitch seems labored, every swing and miss opportunity missed. The Yankees, with their storied history and immense expectations, are not a forgiving environment. The pressure to perform is unmatched, and even the most talented players can falter under the bright lights of Yankee Stadium. Fans, who are used to excellence and a legacy of winning, are vocal about their frustrations, and social media amplifies every mistake. For a player like Doval, who has experienced highs and lows in his career, adjusting to this level of scrutiny can be just as challenging as adjusting to the league itself. Jake Bird is another pitcher who highlights the Yankees' bullpen struggles. Signed with the hope of adding depth and reliability, he's found himself demoted after just a handful of outings. His performances have been rough, with an ERA that has spiked dramatically in the few appearances he's made. It seems like the team's strategy to reinvent their bullpen has backfired in some ways, leaving only a handful of reliable arms to carry the weight of closing out games. David Bednar has been one of the few bright spots, a pitcher who can still deliver quality innings, but even he is carrying a heavier load than expected. The rest of the bullpen, for now, feels like a patchwork of potential rather than a cohesive, dependable unit. When you look at the Yankees season as a whole, it's easy to see why fans are concerned. A team that should be contending for the top of the American League East is instead grappling with inconsistency, injuries, and underperformance. There's a sense of unease that runs deeper than just the stat lines. The team's identity feels unsettled. The confidence that once defined the Yankees' pitching staff seems fractured, and every loss amplifies the questions about what went wrong and whether things can be fixed. Even management decisions, from pitching rotations to bullpen usage, are under a microscope as fans debate whether Aaron Boone, the manager, is getting the most out of the talent at his disposal. Criticism is rampant, and while some of it is fair, some of it is born from the frustration of watching a team that was expected to dominate instead struggle in almost every facet of the game. Part of the challenge lies in the mental aspect of playing for the Yankees. Unlike other teams, there is an enormous historical weight on every player who steps onto the field. The Yankees are not just a baseball team. They are an institution, a symbol of excellence that spans generations. When a player falters, it's magnified in ways that other teams don't experience. The pressure can be overwhelming, and, for some, it affects their performance more than their physical abilities. Whether it's Duvall struggling to find the strike zone or Fried dealing with injury setbacks, it's impossible to ignore the role that expectations and pressure play in shaping outcomes on the field. The team's pitching woes, both in the rotation and in the bullpen, have real consequences. Games that should be comfortably won are turning into nail-biters. Leads evaporate in innings that should have been secure, and the team's overall standing in the league is impacted. Even small mistakes take on larger significance, as each lost opportunity adds up over the course of a season. And while some of the hitters have delivered, even a strong offense can only carry a team so far when the pitching is inconsistent and unpredictable. It's a delicate balance, and right now, the Yankees are struggling to maintain it. And yet, despite all of this, there is still hope. Baseball is a long season, and there are opportunities for adjustments, for players to find their rhythm, and for strategies to be refined. The talent is undeniably there, and even underperforming pitchers like Duvall and Bird have shown glimpses of the skills that made them valuable acquisitions in the first place. For Yankees fans, patience is difficult, but it is also a necessary part of watching a team navigate the highs and lows of a demanding season. Every start, every relief appearance is a chance to turn things around, to reclaim the dominance that the team is known for. Take Camilo Duvall, for example. When he arrived in New York, there was genuine excitement. The Yankees had identified him as a power arm who could induce strikeouts at will, a pitcher capable of turning the tide of a game with just a few throws. On paper, it made sense. Duvall's previous seasons showcased a fastball that could reach triple digits and a slider with devastating bite. He had been a dominant closer in San Francisco, someone who could come in during high-leverage situations and make opposing hitters look foolish. The theory was perfect, but baseball rarely conforms to theory alone. In the Bronx, Duvall has struggled mightily. His ERA is inflated, his strikeouts are down, and the swing-and-miss stuff that defined him is nowhere to be found. Every outing seems to chip away at his confidence, and watching him labor through innings that should be routine has been painful for fans who expected instant impact. It isn't just Duvall, though. Jake Bird, another trade deadline acquisition, has faced similar difficulties. The Yankees invested in him to add depth and reliability to the bullpen, but he too has faltered under the pressure. After only a handful of appearances, Bird found himself demoted to the minors, his ERA skyrocketing and his effectiveness diminishing. When you look at these two pitchers together, it paints a stark picture. A bullpen that was supposed to be lethal now feels fragile and unpredictable. The contrast between the promise of acquisition and the reality of performance is almost jarring, and the ripple effects are evident in every game. Leads that should be secure vanish in moments. Late innings become tense nail-biters, and even the team's morale seems to waver under the weight of these struggles. Part of the issue lies in adaptation. Transitioning to the Yankees is not like joining any other team. The organization carries with it not only a storied history, but also unparalleled expectations. Every pitch is scrutinized, every inning analyzed, and every mistake amplified. For players who have been successful elsewhere, the adjustment can be jarring. What worked in another uniform does not automatically translate to success in New York. The pressure is immense, and some players, no matter how talented, struggle to acclimate to the environment. Duvall, Bird, and even other pitchers have had to navigate this, and so far, the adjustment period has been rocky. It's not just physical ability. It's the mental challenge of pitching for a team with such a historic footprint, where failure is rarely forgiven and expectations are relentless. Aaron Boone, the manager, also finds himself under fire. The decisions about how to deploy pitchers, when to call for certain arms, and how to structure the bullpen are all part of the intense scrutiny that comes with managing the Yankees. There is no room for error, and when things go wrong, the spotlight is immediate and unforgiving. Boone's approach to managing the pitching staff has been questioned repeatedly, and some of the criticism, fair or not, reflects the frustration of watching a team that should be dominant struggle at every turn. Fans debate whether Boone is giving pitchers too many opportunities, not enough guidance, or whether he's simply out of options given the current state of the roster. Regardless, it is clear that the bullpen struggles are not entirely separate from managerial strategy. They're intertwined, part of the broader narrative of a team searching for its identity mid-season. Even the starters are feeling the weight of the bullpen's shortcomings. Max Fried, who began the season as an ace and looked untouchable, has battled injuries, blisters, and a sudden dip in performance that has thrown the rotation into instability. Carlos Rodon, while slightly more consistent, is still adjusting and has had moments of inconsistency that have made games more stressful than they should be. The combination of a faltering bullpen and inconsistent starters has created an environment where no inning is safe, no lead is guaranteed, and no game can be approached with confidence. For a team with aspirations of postseason success, this creates enormous challenges. Every decision, from when to pull a starter to which reliever to bring in, is amplified in importance, and mistakes or underperformance can quickly spiral into larger issues that affect the team's trajectory. The mental toll on pitchers cannot be overstated. Baseball is as much a psychological game as it is physical, and for pitchers like Duvall and Bird, the pressure to perform in New York is immense. Fans' expectations, the media scrutiny, and the historical significance of the franchise all contribute to a unique and high-pressure environment. Some pitchers thrive under this pressure, but others find it stifling, impacting both confidence and performance. Watching a player labor through innings, struggling to locate pitches or find his rhythm, reflects not just technical deficiencies, but also the broader challenge of adapting to the intense demands of the Yankees organization. Every mistake becomes magnified, and even small lapses in performance can feel catastrophic in the context of the team's ambitions and the spotlight in which they operate. And yet, despite all the struggles, there are glimmers of hope. The talent is undeniable. There are still pitchers who could dominate when they're on form, and there are opportunities for adjustments and growth. The key will be whether the Yankees can manage this tumultuous period, address the underlying issues, and get players back on track before the season slips further out of control. It's a delicate balancing act, managing injuries, shoring up the bullpen, maintaining confidence, and ensuring that the starting rotation can deliver quality innings. If the Yankees can navigate these challenges successfully, there is still a path forward to contention. But right now, it is a high-stakes situation where every decision and every performance carries enormous weight. The pressure, the expectations, and the glaring inconsistencies make this season a fascinating case study in the challenges of maintaining excellence. The Yankees, as an organization, are used to success, but even the most storied franchises can struggle when talent doesn't translate to results. The dynamics of the bullpen, the rotation, and the mental strain of playing in New York converge to create an environment that tests every individual on the roster. How they respond will determine not just the outcomes of games, but the broader narrative of a season that could still swing dramatically in either direction. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. The sports world is abuzz with shock and speculation as the New York Yankees, long a dominant force in Major League Baseball, have reportedly secured one of the most electrifying talents in recent memory, Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Sources close to the matter suggest that the deal, still unofficial in some circles, has sent ripples through both the American League and National League, with fans and analysts alike scrambling to adjust their projections for the upcoming season. The Yankees, who have been methodically rebuilding their roster with a combination of seasoned veterans and rising prospects, are believed to have leveraged significant financial and strategic incentives to lure Ohtani away from the Dodgers, whose lineup has been bolstered by his dual-threat abilities as both a pitcher and a hitter. The implications of such a move extend beyond mere box score statistics, potentially redefining rivalries, playoff expectations, and the very perception of team-building strategy in contemporary baseball. In clubhouses from coast to coast, whispers of how the Yankees will integrate Ohtani into their existing roster are rampant, with some insiders speculating that he could transform not only their offensive and pitching depth, but also the broader dynamics of the American League, challenging conventional notions of roster balance and superstar utilization. Analysts are already hypothesizing about matchups, pitching rotations, and batting orders, with debates heating up across sports networks, podcasts, and social media platforms as the news spreads like wildfire among fans who had scarcely dared to imagine such a seismic shift in league power structures. Ohtani's move to the Yankees, if confirmed, would represent not merely a transaction, but a watershed moment in the ongoing saga of modern baseball's globalization and the increasing fluidity of star player mobility. Observers are pointing to the historical rarity of a player of Ohtani's caliber excelling both on the mound and at the plate, a combination that has captivated audiences worldwide and redefined expectations for what a single athlete can contribute to a team. Within the Yankees' hierarchy, discussions are reportedly intense, balancing the need to maintain a coherent team strategy with the tantalizing prospect of harnessing Ohtani's extraordinary versatility. Fans in New York, meanwhile, have taken to social media in droves, speculating on how Ohtani's presence might alter the team's competitive calculus against perennial rivals such as the Boston Red Sox and Tampa Bay Rays. Some commentators suggest that this acquisition could catalyze a reevaluation of pitching workloads, lineup construction, and even player development philosophy, as the Yankees aim to maximize the unique skill set of a player whose impact transcends traditional categorizations. Meanwhile, Dodger supporters are expressing a mix of incredulity and concern, pondering the circumstances that could lead a franchise to lose a player of Ohtani's magnitude and the potential strategic adjustments they might now face in the wake of this speculative exodus. In essence, the rumor has ignited a feverish debate, prompting analysts and enthusiasts to question long-held assumptions about talent distribution, market dynamics, and the evolving priorities of professional baseball teams in the 21st century, making the conversation as much about cultural and financial implications as athletic performance. Financial considerations loom large in the unfolding saga of Shohei Ohtani potentially joining the New York Yankees, with industry insiders suggesting that the deal could represent one of the most lucrative contracts in recent MLB history. While official numbers remain unconfirmed, estimates circulating among agents, journalists, and league insiders suggest that Ohtani's salary, signing bonus, and performance incentives could dramatically alter the Yankees' payroll strategy and potentially set new benchmarks for future player negotiations. The Yankees' front office is reportedly engaged in delicate discussions with financial planners, team accountants, and legal advisors to ensure compliance with league regulations while simultaneously crafting a package that satisfies both the player and the organization's long-term strategic objectives. Speculation abounds regarding how Ohtani's reported earnings might impact other high-profile free agents, salary cap considerations, and the distribution of talent across the league, prompting a wave of analysis from sports economists, statisticians, and fan commentators. Beyond the numerical implications, the move carries symbolic weight, signaling the Yankees' ambition to not only dominate domestically, but also maintain a global brand presence by aligning themselves with a player whose international recognition and marketability are unmatched. In the media landscape, pundits are debating the potential ripple effects on merchandising, broadcast rights, and sponsorship deals, with some suggesting that Ohtani's arrival could catalyze a surge in jersey sales, ticket demand, and brand visibility both in the United States and abroad. Even within the clubhouse, the psychological and motivational impact on teammates is a hot topic, as players may be inspired or pressured by the arrival of such a transcendent talent, creating new dynamics that extend far beyond conventional performance metrics and into the realm of organizational culture, team identity, and fan engagement, turning what might appear to be a simple roster addition into a multifaceted event of historical significance. From a tactical standpoint, the Yankees' rumored acquisition of Shohei Ohtani opens up an array of strategic possibilities that could confound opposing teams and analysts alike. With Ohtani's unique ability to dominate as both a starting pitcher and a middle-of-the-order hitter, the Yankees are theoretically positioned to exploit lineup flexibility, pitching rotations, and bullpen management in ways that few teams can realistically emulate. Internal sources suggest that manager decisions will be under intense scrutiny as coaches explore optimal methods to balance Ohtani's workload, prevent injury, and maintain peak performance across a grueling 162-game season. Sports strategists are speculating on scenarios ranging from rotational pitching shifts to situational batting alignments designed to maximize Ohtani's dual contributions while preserving the integrity of the broader roster. Moreover, opposing teams may need to fundamentally rethink scouting reports, defensive alignments, and in-game decision-making to account for the multifaceted threat posed by a player capable of changing the game from both the mound and the batter's box. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.